Have you ever wondered what really happened outside the small town of Roswell, New Mexico in July 1947? An event so profound, so earth-shattering, that the truth has been shrouded in decades of cover-ups, disinformation, and ruthless suppression by the highest levels of the military-industrial complex? Prepare yourselves for a journey that will shatter your perception of reality and our species' existence within the cosmos. Brace for revelations that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. This is the story of the Roswell incident and its paradigm-shifting implications that those in power have spent over 70 years desperately trying to conceal. The blazing arrival. It began on the night of July 4, 1947, when multiple credible witnesses across the New Mexico deserts reported seeing a brilliant, glowing object streak through the evening sky before appearing to explode in a series of searing flashes. When a recon team from the nearby Roswell Army Airfield investigated the mysterious incident, what they discovered in the remote wasteland defied all conventional explanation. The debris field. Emerging from the shimmering desert dawn, the first investigators were confronted with a horrifying 3/4-mile debris trail of shallow, violent trenches gauged into the Earth's surface. Scattered in a bizarrely purposeful pattern were charred remains unlike anything ever seen. Twisted shards of lightweight purplish metal composites woven with strange gemstone filaments that seemed to throb with an unnatural low-level radiation. Sleek, aerodynamic materials embedded with miniature flickering orbs of unknown origin. There were no signs of an impact crater or scorching from extreme heat, only an array of inscrutable wreckage pointing towards an unidentified flying object of potentially extraterrestrial origin. Sworn to secrecy. Within hours, a massive lockdown operation was enforced by armed military police patrols, as the debris field was codified as the highest classification incident by Air Force intelligence. All witnesses and potential liabilities were immediately detained and forced into secrecy under threat of severe punishment by the newly formed Majestic 12, an ultra-clandestine government agency commissioned to investigate the emerging UFO phenomenon at all costs. Behind sealed doors at secure facilities, elite teams of scientists and engineers were assembled to meticulously examine the anomalous artifacts. Personnel were threatened with extreme disciplinary measures like torture or imprisonment for ever breathing a word about the reverse engineering programs aimed at unlocking the secrets of what they were now convinced was fallen debris from an extraterrestrial spacecraft. The cover story begins to crack. Despite the severe cover-up protocols enacted around the event, over the following decades, disturbing witness leaks and whistleblower testimonies began emerging through pioneering civilian researchers fighting against orchestrated government suppression and disinformation campaigns. Stunning accounts corroborated with physical evidence and technical data proved that otherworldly materials and possibly occupants or humanoid remains were recovered at the now infamous ATIC entry 63 inches crash location. The unprecedented extraterrestrial artifacts appeared to represent radical new frontiers in science and engineering, far surpassing our comprehension. New paradigm-shifting evidence. Then, in 2018, bombshell leaks from Freedom of Information Act requests confirmed the worst-kept secret in one of history's greatest cover-ups. The most elite quarters of the U.S. intelligence community had indeed identified the debris as extraterrestrial vehicular construction materials of non-human origin, according to numerous analyses since the late 1940s. Even more shocking, within the documents were codified references to preserved occupant specimens recovered from within the main wreckage, as well as covert operations transferring additional unknown artifacts and entities from related crash sites to the clandestine Roswell facility in the days after the incident. The Bluefire Archives. If those paradigm-shattering revelations weren't enough, a far more explosive data leak hit the research community in 2021 in the form of the leaked Blue Fire archives. Among these terabytes of original classified materials were files detailing reverse engineering initiatives based on recovered non-terrestrial technologies. And disturbing accounts of inhumane experimentation and torture using alien biological samples. Within the millions of decrypted documents were mind-bending details on everything from anti-gravity propulsion systems, extraterrestrial genetic makeups sharing no DNA relationship to Earth's life, interfaced intelligences possibly representing sentient AI cybernetic systems, transmutation elements capable of reshaping their molecular density at will, and dark projects aimed at attempts to radically re-engineer the human species using procured ET artifacts and biology. When combined with all the previous evidence leaking out over decades, the Blue Fire files confirmed beyond any remaining doubt that the world's superpowers had concealed verifiable recovered extraterrestrial technology and entities since as early as the Roswell crash. Far more disturbingly, they pointed towards an increasingly transhuman agenda, using appropriated ET science in illegal, unethical experiments hidden within the military's deepest shadows. The crackdown and suppression. Unsurprisingly, the damning Blue Fire disclosures were met with a full counterattack from the national security state determined to retain the Roswell truth at all costs. Whistleblowers and independent researchers died under mysterious circumstances, as their materials were aggressively confiscated in FBI raids. Academics and journalists who merely reported on the files were arrested under arcane Espionage Act provisions. A final gag rule blocked and sealed all related court cases, while muzzling plaintiffs from ever discussing their litigations again. An unprecedented display of draconian censorship against the free press and public not seen since the Cold War. It signaled the existential stakes still being defended around this decades-old UFO case by elites desperate to preserve secrecy about the bigger picture revelations surrounding humanity's true place in the cosmos. Deeper implications. For beneath the surface of whistleblowers, document drops, and reverse-engineered exotic technologies, the Roswell disclosures appear to represent something far more profound and destabilizing to our species' conventional belief systems and power structures as we know them. The documents point towards entire tranches of non-terrestrial artifacts, beings, technology recoveries indicating the presence of multiple tiers of extraterrestrial visitors engaging our world with competing agendas. Could the U.S. government have negotiated contingency pacts with these forces, allowing unseen ET presences to influence the highest levels of elite society in exchange for science's radically altering human developmental trajectories? Were they actively working towards a transhuman society based on appropriated alien capabilities and potentially splicing biological enhancement protocols using procured ET genetic material? Taken to its darkest, speculative interpretation, the revelations imply the illicit construction of entire shadow industries and policies, granting unchecked power to usher in a new evolutionary paradigm. A total upheaval of civilization as we understand it, of science, philosophy, and the human species, assumed significance in the greater cosmic context. It suggests that the UFO truth contained within the Roswell artifacts and recoveries represents such an existential threat to the ruling institutions of control, order, and dominion that it must be suppressed at all costs, lest the unearthing of these realities completely dismantle societies psychologically unprepared to accept our humbling place among advanced intelligences from the stars. Moving forward, so where does this leave the human race? With evidence mounting that our planet is increasingly becoming a nexus point for interstellar affairs and visitations, will we retreat into deep-seated denial and conflict, or rise to embrace the profound new cosmic realities being ushered in whether we're prepared or not? The paths we choose and how to internalize and evolve from the staggering disclosures intimated in the Roswell case will determine the maturity and survival of our civilizations. To join the ranks of these potentially vast galactic communities, we must demonstrate the wisdom to transcend our myopic planetary limits and fears. It represents an opportunity for humanity to reconcile itself with a new role, that of building an alliance capable of humbly engaging the cosmic wonders and intelligences that have seemingly been observing and perhaps guiding our developmental progress all along. By confronting the deepest existential worries unleashed through the Roswell revelations' aftermath, our species can choose to elevate itself, to progress beyond self-imposed barriers and primitive constructs of control and dominance, all in service of earning a place among the great cosmic fraternity that so dramatically announced its presence over that desolate New Mexico landscape on that fateful summer night of 1947. Conclusion. This has been an exploration of the Roswell incident and its deepest implications, reminding us that the truth is still out there, whether we're finally ready to accept it or not. Until next time, keep watching the skies. And if you want to continue exploring mind-bending revelations about science, technology, and our true place in the cosmos, make sure to subscribe to the Future Tech Fusion channel and hit the notification bell. We'll be launching more suspenseful documentary content that will shake your perception of reality to its core. A big thank you to all the enlightened viewers who journeyed with us on this unveiling of the profound Roswell UFO crash incident. Your open-mindedness and thirst for uncovering the truth about humanity's greater cosmic context is what allows the scales to keep falling from our eyes. Together, we can elevate our species to transcend the artificial limits of the past by courageously peering into the vast, hyper-intelligent frontier awaiting us among the stars and interdimensional mysteries yet unexplored. The future of our conscious evolution begins by accepting revelations like those from the Roswell event. So thank you for watching, and get ready to have your minds blasted wide open with what's coming next on Future Tech Fusion. This is just the beginning.